The soldiers hang the iron hook on the heavy stone ball. As Prince Bahubali gives the order, the launchers cut off the trigger. The massive red cloth attached to the stone ball flies into the sky with breathtaking momentum, hurtling toward the Pindari army. The enemy, having never seen such a bizarre and bold tactic, stares wide-eyed at the fast-moving red wave. Balaladeva, watching from the front lines, is momentarily stunned. Even Sivagami, the regal and calculating Empress Dowager, cannot decipher what Bahubali is planning. The red cloth descends. Only then do the Pindari soldiers react, but too late. The ton-heavy stone smashes into them, sending warriors flying. Those lucky enough to escape tremble, their faces pale, some wetting themselves in fear. Panic spreads like wildfire as soldiers scramble to cut the cloth, hoping to end the madness. But when one dares touch it, he realizes something's hidden underneath. Bahubali takes a bow from his guard, raises a flaming arrow, and launches it with fierce precision. The arrow strikes the heart of the cloth. For a moment, nothing, then flames erupt. The Pindari soldiers are engulfed and burned instantly, the red cloth disintegrating to ash. Palaladeva's face darkens. The tactic is so brilliant, so devastating, that other Mahishmati warriors risk lighting more red cloths and send them soaring toward enemy troops. Fire rains down, and fear tightens its grip. Balaladeva, enraged but proud, still rallies his men. His words sting like whips, awakening fury in the Pindari ranks. Spurred by shame and desperation, they charge again toward Mahishmati's front lines. But the moment they approach, the warriors of Mahishmati lock into a flawless shield formation. The front holds. The defense is unbreakable. Bahubali signals the next attack. A legion of sword-wielding warriors emerges like a tidal wave, slashing down enemy after enemy. The Pindari suffer heavy losses instantly, yet under threats and rallying cries they push forward. The battle of Mahishmati ignites into chaos and bloodshed. And then, Bahubali himself enters the fray. He wields his mighty iron hammer, tearing through the enemy ranks like a god of war. Balaladeva, wielding two blades, follows, slicing with ferocity. Man after man falls at their feet, but the enemy's numbers grow. As Pindari reinforcements pour in, Katapa, the royal commander, enacts the second wave of strategy. Bahubali quickly changes gear, mounting a mighty war chariot, dual iron spears in hand. He storms through the field like thunder, impaling soldiers left and right. The Pindari fall like autumn leaves, crushed and torn apart. Bahubali's war chariot even sports a spinning windmill at its front, shredding anything in its path. Bodies fly. Dust rises. Mahishmati roars with power. The tide turns. Under the prince's command, Mahishmati pushes through the Pindari formation and reaches the enemy commander. But the Pindari, cowardly, push civilians forward as human shields. Bahubali, heart-torn, orders his men to hold. But Balaladeva, thirsty for the throne, remembers Sivagami's promise. Kill the commander, become king, and he storms forward, ignoring the innocents. The scene turns tragic. Blood spills. Even Sivagami, the iron-willed queen, is shaken. Bahubali acts. His men swing chains that snare the enemy hiding behind innocents, exposing their cowardice. The sky breaks. Rain falls. The cavalry storms in, slicing through enemy ranks. Seeing his forces crumble, the Pindari commander changes tactics. The battlefield stills, then erupts again. Suddenly, Mahishmati soldiers see logs being carried toward them. Pindari warriors attempt to breach the iron walls with brute force. Though Mahishmati fights bravely, the line breaks. The enemy floods in. Despair spreads. The Mahishmati flag falls. The Pindari commander laughs. Even royal ministers whisper, "Is this the end?" Fear creeps into the hearts of warriors. They begin to retreat. Defeat seems certain. But Bahubali stands firm. He climbs a mound, sword in hand, his voice like thunder. "If you believe the enemy is stronger, you will die. If you think they insulted your mother, you will die. But if you bow to her feet and run away, you will surely die." The soldiers pause. Hearts ignite. Courage returns. Like a blazing storm, Bahubali leads a final charge, crashing into the rear of the enemy. Stone balls fly, chariots smash, and finally Balaladeva meets the enemy commander in one final clash. The battlefield trembles. In a brutal fight, Bahubali and Balaladeva bring the commander to his knees. But before Bahubali can strike the final blow, disaster strikes. A hidden force attacks. Bahubali is momentarily buried under bodies, but he rises again. Grabbing an iron spear, he brings down the enemy commander. Together with Palaladeva, he drags the defeated leader before the court. Victory. But just as Bahubali lifts his blade, Sivagami stops him. She had been watching all along. With the enemy dead, the Pindari forces scatter. Mahishmati stands tall again. The court assumes Balaladeva will be crowned king, but Sivagami declares, Balaladeva shall lead the army, but the new king is Bahubali. Cheers erupt. Bahubali, the hero, the protector, the prince who fought with honor, becomes king. Peace returns, and Mahishmati celebrates the rise of a just ruler.